This week on Kentucky Afield, perfect weather for a hunt on the last day of deer season means we're in the stand.
This is the type of weather that you hope for.
Trying to scratch that itch one more time before the off-season. Next, it solves several environmental issues and provides some of the best trout fishing around. Join us as we check out man-made trout stream, Hatchery Creek. Then, many people don't realize that the modern baitcaster fishing reel was created right here in the bluegrass. It's all next on Kentucky Afield.
Yeah, we got one. Sweet.
Got a muskrat?
Yeah.
Good job.
What do you know about that, man? That's a good fish, man.
Nice male smallmouth, healthy, pretty color.
Cody, here. Find us one more good pheasant, Cody.
As biologists, we catch ducks and we place bands on them.
And it's just a really excellent place to see cottonmouths.
What do you think?
That was pretty fun.
Hello, and welcome to Kentucky Afield. I'm your host, Chad Miles. Join us as we journey the Commonwealth in search of outdoor adventure. If you're an avid bow hunter, you wouldn't consider missing an opportunity to bow hunt in the snow. So we went out this year on the last day of the season to try our luck.
What's the last day of the archery deer season and turkey season? The next time I'm in a deer stand deer hunting, it'll be in September of the upcoming season. And this is the type of weather that you hope for. The next time I'm in a stand, it'll probably be 85 degrees with mosquitoes and fighting the sweat. I just couldn't pass up the opportunity to get in the deer stand this last day of this 2017-18 deer season. And I'll tell you what, the next 8 months, there's going to be a lot of daydreaming of being right back here again. I'm already looking forward to September, but I'm going to take full advantage of this perfect day to be in a deer stand. And I'm hunting in this thicket that we hunted earlier this year. I actually took my very first deer of the season right there. These deer have been using this thicket, and with this wind blowing and this snow falling, I really thought there's a good chance these deer may try to get in this thicket. We try to get in here as quiet as we could. We're going to sit in here and wait them out. Hopefully we get some action. I just knocked my quiver with all my arrows, with the exception of one that's on my bow, out of my deer stand. I've got so many more clothes on than normal that I'm a little bigger than I'm used to. I went to move, and sure enough, bam, shot him right out of the deer stand. Right there, about 60 yards straight in front of us. Here they come, right here, 25 yards. Looks like the first one's a button buck. I need to get stood up. just had 3 deer come right in on us. They got within shooting range about 30 yards. But that Otis doe, the big one, man, she knew right where to look. She looked right up here in this stand as soon as she walked in. She settled in, and when she moved behind that cedar tree, I stood up on her. This stand made a pop sound, and as soon as it did, she just bounded off. There's a deer right here. I'm so frozen and crunchy, I can't even draw. Son of a gun. Well, I can't believe you wait till the last day of the year and you miss one like that. One of the things that I always try to stress is to shoot your bow in the gear that you plan on hunting in. I have to say, I haven't shot in this jacket and it's much bigger and thicker than most of the gear that I've wore all year. Sure enough, I hit my sleeve. I'm pretty sure it was a low shot, but I need to go over there and recover that arrow and make sure. I'm already looking forward to 2018 deer season though. I'm gonna move this stand and get me a salt lick out, and this spot's got great potential. Well, right here's that deer standing, and there's no blood, no hair, nothing. Now with this snow, it's hard to say where that arrow dug in, but it's underneath the snow somewhere. But we went back and looked at the footage. It was a clean miss. I hate missing them, but like I say, it's part of deer hunting. Sometimes it just happens, but you know, it's frustrating. You spend all this time and energy practice shooting your bow and preparing and thinking about what locations you want to set up and hunt, and then you get up there and something that is totally under your control, you mess it up. But you know what? Come here and got a deer every single time, I probably wouldn't love it.
Are you looking for an opportunity to catch fish this winter? You might want to consider Kentucky's newest trout stream, Hatchery Creek. Hey Brad, good seeing you again.
You too, Chad. How are you?
I am doing really good. I am excited to be back out here again. It's been since the opening of Hatchery Creek back in April since I've been down here, and I'm getting some great reports. People telling me that fish are moving out of the river. Tell me, are you seeing some of this too?
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of really nice, really good sized fish have been coming up out of the river, coming up here to spawn. Hopefully today we'll be able to catch some, see them on the red, and show everybody what that is.
We're talking about nests, right?
Yes, that's where trout pair up and they're laying eggs, cleaning off the gravel.
Trout fishing is a little bit of a new thing for me, so let's get out there and get after it and see if we can't catch some fish.
Let's do it.
All right. Hey, fishing out of waders is kind of a new thing for me as well.
Oh, really?
You know, and I brought the camo because it is duck season. You know, I may make a cast up there and get one. So Hatchery Creek is kind of getting a reputation to catch some trophy quality fish.
Yes, sir. We've been catching them everywhere from about 2 or 3 inches all the way up to 24, 25 inches.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
And this creek is catch and release only, and you said artificial bait only, right?
Well, artificial lure and fly only, nothing organic.
Gotcha, okay. We're up here in the middle of the week on a day where you gotta be a diehard to be out here. A little bit of wind, supposed to get some rain, but you know, there's a lot of fish and there's still tons of opportunities, is there not?
There it is. There is a ton of fish in this creek. Today we're fishing tandem nymph rig under a heavy indicator with some weight, without hardly any line outside the rod. So don't be afraid to put a little bit of muscle into it to drive it to where you want it.
Smack it in there, all right.
Because that'll also drive those nymphs down into the water.
Gotcha. All right, get a little dip.
Yep. Boom. Line up, line up, line up. There you go. Now lead it, lead it, lead it.
There we go.
Fish on.
Sweet.
Nice little fish.
That's awful exciting.
I'm gonna get downstream of you real quick.
When it hits like that.
Oh, missed him.
Coming back to you.
Got it.
There you go. Awesome. Got a rainbow there.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. What we got there, about 11-inch fish or something?
About 11-inch rainbow. Looks like he's had a little run-in with one of our cranes that we have down here. You can see his scars right there on his side.
Yeah. Almost got him a meal, didn't he?
Almost. He's trying to.
Well, that's a beautiful fish. You love the color of those things and speckled back. Just a beautiful little rainbow trout. Let's get this one back and go for some more. What do you think?
I like it. Let's get him in the water.
All right.
We'll move down to this next pool downstream.
All right. So you got a little bit of a deep pocket right here. It goes around this rock. So this is a good spot here?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's give it a go here.
Perfect.
Oh, here we go. Oh, look at that jump. There we go.
This is what you call a cut bow. It's a hybrid between a cutthroat and a rainbow.
Okay.
And you can tell, if you look underneath his jaw right there, you see those two little orange cuts?
Oh, yeah.
That's a cut bow.
That is really cool. And how big do these get?
They can get all the way up to about 24.
That's a beautiful fish. See, we can't get a bigger one. What do you think?
Let's do it.
All right. Awesome.
And he's gone. Nice fish. Nice fish.
Yeah, this is a little better than the last one.
Nice.
All right.
Look at that.
Awesome. That's a nice looking fish. That little fly hooks him right at the roof of the mouth, doesn't it?
Exactly. It's got a curved shank.
Yep.
So that when you set, it takes it and it drives it up into the roof of his mouth. One trick that you can use to kind of tame fish is to turn them upside down. If you have a really wily one that's not wanting to cooperate.
I think biologists do that with sharks, and it works really well. This fish is really thin. So is there a chance that this thing has potentially already dropped some eggs or spawned? Or
It's a very good chance that she's already dropped her eggs. You can tell it's a female. See how she has a real blunt nose?
Yes.
And it's real rounded. A male's jaw's gonna come out, you're gonna have a little kite coming out of him. Another telltale sign that she's been spawning, this missing corner of her fin, and then you can tell right there on the end of her tail where it's all frayed out, she's been fanning red.
Let's get this thing back in. Let her go back to what she was doing.
Alrighty. Come on, little girl. Fish.
Come on over here, fish. Pretty fish.
Pretty little fish, another rainbow. Significant lateral line there. That's how these fish can hear, basically, in the water. They feel the vibration.
That's really cool.
We're gonna come up here around this next bend. That's gonna be our next spot.
All right. And it's every 20, 30 yards is a new spot.
Exactly.
Here we go.
There you go.
Here we go. What a cool day. I learned a lot about fishing a creek with you today, and I just really appreciate you taking your time and showing everyone out there what a wonderful resource this is.
I enjoy it immensely. That's why I'm out here. I enjoy teaching people how to fish. I'm glad I could help.
It's just a lot of fun. This ain't my last trip. Let's come back and do it again.
Looking forward to it.
Now let's check in and see who's catching what and where in this week's fishing report.
This is Jeff Crosby with the Central Fisheries District Fishing Report. Fishing is very slow across the district due to recent winter weather conditions. For those of you who are interested in braving this weather, you could try your luck at targeting sauger below many of the locks and dams on the Ohio and Kentucky rivers. Additionally, you could try your luck at catching a few trout at one of our Fins program ponds or lakes. Many will be stocked over the next several weeks. Small jigs, crankbaits, or inline spinners can be used to catch a few of these trout. Don't forget, March 1st marks the start of a new year of fishing licenses. By purchasing a fishing license, you are helping fund fishery management across the Commonwealth.
This is Adam Martin with the Western District Fishing Report. Now that the bays of Kentucky and Barkley Lake have turned from a solid back into a liquid, many anglers have reported catching crappie out deep in secondary channels and flats. Try to find some bait fish and fish slowly in at least 20 feet of water. A lot of crappie anglers have been catching white bass in Kentucky Lake, so if you love white bass, try fishing deep with a small spoon to try to find a school of these fish. Largemouth and smallmouth bass fishing has been somewhat slow, but some very large fish are being taken on the main lake and deeper secondary points. It's cold out there, so always remember that safety is the most important thing. Please wear your life jackets and dress for the weather conditions. Good luck and good fishing.
This is Tom with your fishing report from the Northeast. Winter seems to be in and out over the last several weeks, and fishing opportunities are going to be very limited for us. Cave Run Lake has been in various stages of freeze over since the start of the new year, and several of our other lakes have been as well. We have done some winter trout stockings on Mill Creek Lake and Natural Bridge State Park this last week. Greenbow Lake and Eagle Lake are both on the docket for February. Other than that, your best opportunity for us is fishing the Ohio or Kentucky rivers. On both of these streams, you'll be looking primarily for sauger behind the locks and dams and in the mouths of the feeder creeks. Jigs with curly-tailed grubs are your best bet here. For the majority of both of these streams, you'll need access with a boat, but there is a fishing pier behind the Meldal Dam on the Ohio River that has safe and easy bank access. Stay safe and good luck.
When you do your spring cleaning this year, you may want to take a closer look at what you've got, because you don't want to toss out one of these true Kentucky treasures. So we're here at the Capital City Museum, and I'm here with John Downs. You're the curator here of this museum, and we're here to talk about one of my absolute all-time favorite topics, and that is fishing reels. And you guys have some very unique reels that really started the history of bait casting reels.
That's right. Frankfort has the unique distinction of being the place where multiplying gear bait casting reels were first produced in great quantities and perfected. You know, other cities have historic people, historic buildings, historic sites, but the history of the bait casting reel and its early mass production is really just about Frankfort.
And tell me a little bit about what a multiplying reel is.
The reel, you know, if you spin it once, it will bring in one spool of line. The multiplying reels and what the industry standard that the Meeks and the Milems came up with here was 4.3 to 1. So you could reel in much faster.
So and one crank of the reel is 4 revolutions on the spool.
That's right, that's right. And if you're familiar with smallmouth bass fishing in central Kentucky, they're pretty fast and wily. So being able to bring in line quick was part of the beauty of these particular reels for the people that bought them and collected them.
We actually here today have some of the tooling that was made to produce these reels as well.
Right. Yeah, we have, very fortunate, have this very unique piece of American history, the lathe that the Meeks bought in 1830s maybe, probably from Switzerland. And it's likely that every one of these reels in our exhibit and every one of the Meek and or Milam reels in the country have parts that were made on this machine. But this machine was also, it was the Meeks, and then then it became Meek and Milams. Then when they broke up, it became Milam's, and then when Milam's son died, it was sold to George W. Gale, and he used it to make Gale reels, and Gale's son, Clarence, was making very inexpensive fly fishing reels out of aluminum. And then the market fell out for his stuff. Come to find out, some Japanese manufacturers were making copies of his reels. They even said George W. Gale and Son, Frankfort, Kentucky, but they came in boxes covered in Japanese and at half the price what he could make them for.
Wow.
Well, he was given a government contract to make parts for Clinton Engineer Works, which as it turns out was the front for the Manhattan Project. And so he was making parts, he was making 20 different parts with this lathe for the Manhattan Project, which is where they enriched the uranium for the atomic bombs that were later dropped on Japan. So he was making 20 parts. Only one of them was the real part they wanted, but to kind of keep it secret in case anybody found out, you know, what little Clarence Gale was doing in little old Frankfort, Kentucky. But he made parts for the Manhattan.
So full circle, Japan's sending over reels that literally almost put a man out of business.
That's right.
That had to take a second job, that did not know it, unbeknownst to him, developed was working on a project that ended up being used to bomb Japan.
Yeah,
that's karma.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Well, I'm excited to get in here and see the reels and walk through some of the history of it. Very interesting. Well, let's go take a look and see what we've got.
Okay. This is Ben C. Milam. That's him fishing. This is his reel and his split cane fishing rod.
A split cane fishing rod. That is literally 4 or 5 pieces of cane put together.
That's right.
It's thin as that is, if you were to take that and separate that, that's 4 or 5 pieces that have been put together to make one
That's right.
piece that's much smaller than a pencil.
Originally, when they made the first reels, now we're talking the 1830s, they were brass. About 1840, they developed the ability to electroplate. So they made German silver, which actually is not silver. It's tin, copper, and zinc. And these reels, you look at these, you've got to know they're 150 years old or older, and they are remarkably resilient. These reels, now the click's on, which is why it's making noise.
I've got reels today that I've been using that have been made in the 90s that aren't that smooth. This reel is 100-something years old.
They were precision made. They were made by clockmakers, silversmiths, and these men made the reels like they would a clock. So they had brass and steel gears, and they were multiplying reels. That's what made them so famous. If you look over on the wall, we have an example from a catalog. At one point, there were 660 different choices that you could make.
Really?
Size, material, type of grasp, where you wanted the handle. They were all permeations of choices.
Back then, were they filing patents on these ideas?
No. Ben Meeks said, if anybody can make a reel as well as I can, go for it.
So there was never?
Yes, and these reels, when he made them, they were $50.
Yeah.
That was a lot of money.
Whoa, yeah.
And so they were owned by people of means.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm interested in this for a lot of reasons. Obviously, I love fishing, I love bait casting reels, but my dad's a machinist. And he loves tinkering around with stuff like this. So
that's how you knew so much about the lathe.
Well, I knew a lot about the lathe. I've ran a lathe quite a few times, but yeah, my dad's a machinist and a perfectionist. So he would, I'm sure he'll be down here to see this exhibit. Well, thank you so much for taking me through this. I really do appreciate it. Now, let's see who else is out there having fun as we check out this week's ones that didn't get away. Here we have Timothy Brannon, who got a 20-yard shot at this nice buck on Thanksgiving Day in Mason County. Here we have Earl Baker of Bloomfield, Kentucky, with a nice 11-point buck taken in Shelby County. Here we have 77-year-old Art Matusi of Shelby County with a nice buck that he took during the modern firearm season. Here we have Gracie Campbell of McLean County with her first deer ever taken on her great-granddad's farm. Congratulations. Many hunters asked for it, and it's open once again. Nighttime coyote hunting started on February the 1st. Check your hunting and fishing guide for additional details. And remember, hunting and fishing on private property is a privilege. Always ask permission and thank the landowner. Until next week, I'm your host, Chad Miles, and I hope to see you in the woods or on the water.